And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the finale. Almost the finale here. We're nearing the end of the broadcast. The House Galactic Battle is upon us, and we are here in the lower bracket semifinals to determine who faces off against a laser in the lower bracket finals. I'm your host, Live VIP, and I'm joined by the one, the only, the Yaku of the Zaku.
Dzień dobry.
God. You're an animal. But here we go. Well, quite a twist, quite a turn of events here. If you are just now tuning in, you have missed out on a wild ride, on a wild tournament. Cristiano has been popping off, and he's been slaying the best in the region, the best in the country, left and right. Spirit and a Laser. They're not just the best Zerg and Terran in Poland, but they are some of the best in all of Europe, and they have both fallen to the lower bracket.
Indeed, they have. A little bit before that, though, Gerald was also relegated to that lower bracket, but now we have a little bit of a rematch on our hands here as we loan into game number 1 here on Hecate. We're here in the bottom left-hand corner map spawning. All the way in the bottom left, we have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Poland, representing Psystorm Gaming PSG. We have Gerald.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Terran player, the best Terran in all of Poland, one of the best Terrans in all of Europe, representing his new team, Na'Vi. It is Spirit.
Not to be confused with the other team, Envy.
Oh. Not to be confused, as we are going for that eBay block on the low ground, but Gerald very quick to scout, very quick to react. The boys are being pulled, and Gerald will not be forced to take the unnatural natural.
That he will not, so Cyclone's not going to be as much of a concern as this game continues. We'll lose a little bit of lost mining time, but as the game continues, this is very much for the better. I appreciate this from Spirit, still being very threatening with his SCV, still yeah, just putting a little bit of fear into Gerald, forcing a couple of probes to stay behind.
Yeah, exactly. So we force a bit of lost mining time here, which is good, but we don't get the eBay block, we don't get the delay. Speaking of, behind this, we are in fact committed to a Rax into factory. It is a single gas opener, yes, but this is the transition that we expect to be seeing here. This is to get into some faster factory production. Now, typically this would be for a Cyclone, but because it's not the unnatural natural, we may go for a Hellion instead. We'll see what Spirit does kind of make use of here as he goes for a delayed CC.
Yeah, very safe opening coming up from Spirit. Skips out into Reaper, though, which is definitely a choice. He went for a Marine first, so potentially we might be seeing a bit of an add-on swap. It wouldn't be too out of the ordinary to see reactive Reapers and a single Hellion, but there we go. Swapping the add-ons around.
Yeah, the add-ons are being swapped. We have preserved some of that gas here in favor of factory-based production, and I imagine, yep, it is going to be for Cyclones as a result. Now, these Cyclones aren't as effective just because, the unnatural natural wasn't forced. We have a safety shield battery on the way. Gerald, he's aware that this is a common follow-up after an eBay block, and Gerald is preparing himself for the aggression.
Yeah, about as safe as can be, really, in a PBT. Opening things up with anyway. Twilight Council going to be the option of choice here for Geralt. So again, very standard stuff coming out from him. Adept Shade doesn't quite go in, doesn't quite confirm the CC, I don't think.
Yeah, looking at the vision, we have not seen the CC yet. The Cyclones are revealed. They do lock on that Adept. The Adept is going to be shut down. We are at least aware of the Cyclones, and Geralt is going to be getting ready back at home again. We already have that first shield battery done. Going to be working on a wall, and we are building up our army. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener. It is going to be Blink Stalkers.
Blink Stalkers. Okay, not getting the upgrade just yet, but all signs are pointing towards Blink Stalkers here. Even getting the Robo facility as well. So there we go.
Yeah, Blink is on the way again. We're focusing on the defense. The Hellions just try to run past. One Hellion will go down to the Stalker. And it looks like the Cyclones are going to be fended off here. So far, good defense out of Geralt. The one Hellion gets surrounded by the probes and gets shut down.
Not something you see too often, workers killing the Hellions, but yeah, funnily enough, when they're not all lined up, they are able to survive a little bit, and they do get a good surround. They are able to make short work of Hellions. Fun fact, Hellions actually don't have a lot of health.
They do not. They're quite fragile units here. Cyclones are forced back, and I love this out of Gerald. He forces back the army, and then he doubles down. He doubles down. Double gateway. 2 more gates on the way. That is 4 gates in total. 4 gate Blink Stalker. A very aggressive follow-up here from Gerald.
Yeah, Blink Stalkers, as we always say, are a very versatile opening. They can be used defensively, and I think that's where Geralt was headed for the most part early on in this game. But the great thing about Blink is, especially if you're able to get a robo facility early on, like Geralt did, they also have some very fantastic offensive capabilities very, very early on. Even if he's not able to blink straight into the main base of Spirit, he can still do a lot to contain him, still do a lot to try to slow down the eventual push, which is actually coming a lot sooner than I anticipated. Spirit, without any tanks, he has just been building up with his 2-on-1 here.
Yeah, this is dangerous because, as you mentioned, there are no tanks to defend. So these Stalkers, they pick off some of the reinforcements. Marine's going to be going down. Spirit doesn't turn around, though, and we do have a recall available. We're going for a pseudo base trade. Spirit just diving towards that natural. Meanwhile, likewise, Geralt also dives into the natural, even towards the main base of Spirit.
And there's no safety tank, as we have mentioned. So, yeah, Spirit is sending everything across the map. Forces a full-on recall, which is exactly what he needed here. Not quite able to get much economic damage done, like he planned to do it originally, but he is alive.
Yeah, he is alive. I love this. We recall back home. We shut down by Cyclones. We can chase this all the way back. And Geralt, we're back where we started. He can go once again and threaten the bases of his opponent. The prison takes a lot of damage, though. A bit of miscontrol out of Geralt. Does take a lot of hits, but he threatens the bases once again of Spirit.
Yeah, that's quite a number of Stalkers here. And Stim Marines are great, but there's still a lot of potential here for Geralt to trade very, very efficiently. You know, if he uses Blink effectively.
Yeah, picks off a couple of those Marines at the same time, warping into the main base, and it will be cancelled just in time. It does get denied. Again, that Prism took a lot of damage earlier, and just like that, Spirit he is holding, and Geralt is expanding back at home.
Yeah, all of a sudden, a lot of weight has been lifted from Spirit's shoulders. Doesn't need to worry about a counter harass, doesn't need to worry about anything warped into his main base. He can just build up and get ready for round 2, which should hit with +1 and tanks.
Yeah, tank production underway now for Spirit. He already has Stim, he already has combat shields. I believe Concussive Shell is already researched as well, so he has a pretty hefty bio army, and Geralt is transitioning back at home. Bay is already done, Colossi are on the way.
Yeah, probably the best unit you can get here to defend against Marines specifically.
Exactly, as Spirit, he fakes out a drop. He loads up here, threatening a drop. As a result, we are getting ready here back at home, and he is trying to dive on top of that observer. He does see it, he does know it's there, but he barely isn't able to keep up.
Yeah, Geralt will be able to keep that observer alive. Doesn't quite catch the movement, but yeah, now he does. Now he confirms that a drop was a fake out, and he doesn't have to be overly defensive back home.
Exactly. So really nice movement out of Geralt, really nice scouting. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have eyes on that observer, and we may try to scan and bring it down. For now, though, the third base is up and running, and Geralt does move out with these Stalkers. It looks like he's waiting for potentially a drop.
Yeah, he's trying to catch that. You know, if he can take out 2 medevacs worth of units, he's pretty much has this game in the bag. It doesn't matter if Spirit attacks, if Geralt decides to attack, Spirit just won't have enough supply to deal with anything.
He really will not. Meanwhile, Spirit going to be forcing back this army. Does Stim on forward, does force it back. Meanwhile, 4th base on the way for Geralt. Geralt, one step ahead here when it comes to the economy for the most part. He's able to sustain himself. He's able to get into triple Colossus production. Upgrades on the way. We've got the 2nd Forge +1. Geralt looking pretty good right now. He's keeping up with his opponents, but what about when the armies do clash? Again, Spirit is still going to have quite a hefty army, and he, I believe, has teched up, into Ghosts.
Yeah. Right what you need at this point as your Protoss player is about to finish their transition into the mid game. Really good moves coming out from... these are some really good moves we've seen coming out from Geralt. Really good responses, I should say. Spirit, he does like playing aggressive, and he was trying to be aggressive this game, so
yeah,
for Geralt to just, you know, try to contain and slow down Spirit as long as possible while he expands, that's gonna put him pretty far ahead as we get into the mid game.
Yeah, and the Observer tells him everything. He sees the army out of position. We pick off a turret, only a turret for the time being, as the army does stim on over. As he drags the army over, we have a scan, and oh, we barely do not catch a glimpse of the Zealot run by, but it is still there, ready to dive in. This Observer is giving Gerald so much information when it comes to the army movement.
And Spirit knows that it's there. He knows that it is there. He did catch it earlier on, which is why he tried to fake it out, but he just doesn't have what he needs to really deal with it.
Yeah, but he does end up sniping one of those Colossi. Big pick off there from Spirit. Very nicely done, as Gerald has to rebuild, but he's already on his second robot, making 2 disruptors at a time. He is still keeping up with his opponents, as we do dip in. Again, we're trying to get a read on where exactly the army is. We do catch some of the reinforcements, and Zealots are poised for that run by.
Oh. Yeah, gonna be able to catch a tank pretty much for free. Gonna not quite be able to catch the ghost, but still, forcing out an EMP like that is definitely helpful.
Oh, exactly. As Spirit, he comes in from the left-hand side. He does collapse on that small force. He does clean it up, but still lost that tank, as you mentioned. Meanwhile, Gerald, he's aware of the movement. He's keeping up with the rotation of this drop.
And we'll be able to get it! To get it! There we go. Spirit forced to back away, forced to stim away, even. Once again, he's not really gaining much momentum. I say that, but Spirit's actually pretty close to maxing out. He's going to be able to have a larger army as well compared to Gerald, just because of the worker counts right now. So, still a chance. Good splits coming out here from Spirit. Second good split. Not quite able to snipe that disruptor, but he doesn't lose too much of his bio army either. Meanwhile, we see a multi-prong coming in from the 4th base location. Really good use of the choke point. Really good use of the lift and the hot pickup to go into the main base as well.
Yeah, exactly. One medevac goes down, but the others do survive. So we get into the main base. Big EMP, another Colossus goes down. Disruptor's going to be able to hold the line here on the right-hand side, but we are getting damage done as we are losing a couple more of these medevacs. Good cleanup here from Gerald as he does come in from the right-hand side. Barely does get those medevacs. Spirit still not slowing down, though, pushing forward with those tanks.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needs to push into this base. He needs to be very careful about the Purification Novas, and there we go. He is able to set disruptors, is able to miss that, but here come the Zealots from behind, from the flank, will be dealing with the tanks, and now Spirit has 0 zoning potential.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Gerald will clean this up, but he lost, I want to say, three disruptors. Quickly double checking, 4 disruptors went down. A bit of miscontrol there from Gerald. He did fly a little bit too close to the sun, but regardless, he does clean up the army. Now he's going for a big counterattack. He has 2 disruptors left here with his main force. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 1 tank on the high ground, and again, this Observer does get eyes on that tank.
Yeah, does get eyes on the tank, does get eyes on the rest of the army as well. These medevacs are insanely low on energy, so not too many stims available here for Spirit either. Both disruptors do shoot forward. Purification Novas have been used up, and they didn't really get too much of anything. So Spirit still in this game, still able to hold on to his third, but I'm only now realizing Spirit's been on a 4-base economy for quite some time, as Gerald is expanding to get even a 6 base.
Yeah, Gerald, he's taking a 5th and a 6th, as you mentioned. Gerald does have the better economy for the time being. Spirit on 4 bases can sustain himself, and he is double expanding. Now, these are still regular bases. They still are not orbitals, but he is in the midst of expanding here. And Gerald, upon losing so many disruptors, doesn't have the best position. He's going for the Novas. Bit ambitious.
Yeah, a bit ambitious, but hey, if it pays off, it really pays off. Good use of the missile turrets. Good use of missile turrets. So well-placed missile turrets here from Spirit will be taking out that Warp Prism. Not the only Warp Prism that Gerald has, I don't think, but yeah, at least he doesn't have to worry about harass. Huge assault here onto the 4th base. We'll be taking it out. We'll be taking out a couple of High Templar as well. So yeah, really good pickups here for Spirit as he maxes out.
Gerald, he's just out of position here at multiple locations. He will lose his 6th. He loses his 4th base as well. We dive in and we get another disruptor. Gerald having such a hard time keeping up with the movement here of Spirit. Just very limited map vision and awareness. As a result, he had very little time to react to both pushes.
This, I gotta tell you, Light, is the Spirit I know and love. This is the Spirit I remember in TvPs, who just non-stop comes at you from every single angle. This is what was a little bit missing in his match against Cristiano, although I suppose in that match, Cristiano didn't give him a chance to multi-prong.
Yeah, Cristiano was the aggressor in that series as the Cybercore is going to be going down at the same time. We push in the right hand side. Big EMP here on the Nexus, and once again another base goes down. Gerald, he has a good army. He can take a fight, but he's just one step behind when it comes to the movement of Spirit.
And any head-on engagement, Geralt should win the fight as long as he's able to connect one or two Purification Novas. He should win a head-on engagement. Loses the Colossus that was super exposed. Everything. A lot of these high-tech units are starting to fall, and that's really starting to eat into Geralt's income.
It really is. I mean, Gerald, he still is almost maxed out as well. He still has an army. He wants a fight. He has Storm, by the way. He has every form of splash damage. Storm, Disruptors, and Colossus, but he just cannot keep up here with the movement of Spirit. And here we go. Now we're going for one big final push right through the center of the map. At the same time, Gerald avoids the center, and we may miss each other. We may end up in a weird base trade. It all depends who turns around first, who commits, and who doesn't.
Yeah, we shall see as Geralt going to be the first player to connect or to get his army into position outside of that third base location. Spirit, meanwhile, is moving back. Not a lot of anti-air in that main army, though, so yeah, Geralt has to turn around. He is the first player to turn around as he doesn't have a recall available.
Yeah, no recall. He turns everything back around here, and he does get spotted by Spirit. Spirit, he does siege up, but his army's pretty far forward.
Huge EMPs right onto that choke point. There's absolutely zero shields on that Protoss army. Tanks still in the back line, a little far away, but they are still getting a lot of huge volleys in.
Ooh, yeah, the tanks though, they're left is so exposed. They're going to be cleaned up here by the charge lots. The drop though, it escapes. The tank was reset, but the Marines, the Ghosts, the Marauders, they do manage to escape here in the drops.
Yeah, the tank count did get reset, but we're kind of at the point where tanks aren't really what you want as a Terran player. We can see Spirit is remaxing, and he's remaxing on Liberators and Ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. And there's almost nothing left here for the Protoss. Big Storm here on the Bio Army. Decent connection with that Purification Nova as well. But the reality is that Geralt has nothing behind this here. His economy has been stifled. He's still trying to get things back up and running. Doesn't have a large bank to work with. He needs to try to find some damage, but this is his army. He barely has anything left.
Yeah, 2 Colossus, bunch of Archons. Really starving for minerals and not so much gas right now, although his gas income is suffering quite a lot. He has a little bit of a bank there. Geralt just doesn't have many resources in general.
Yeah, throughout all this Spirit, he's been expanding freely. You know, he's got a 5th base. He's getting a 6th as we speak on location. EMP grazing one of those Archons. We can maybe take a fight here at the choke point. Geralt, he still has a chance to maybe pull some things back here, but things are looking bleak for the Protoss. Oh my god.
The Ghosts kamikaze their way in to just throw down EMPs on everything. All of them die, but it was worth it in the end because, my god, this Protoss army actually still putting up a bit of a fight. That might have been too much of an overextension here from Spirit.
Ooh. Yeah, Novas, they connect. We clean up the army. Geralt, he barely holds on with the bare minimum here. The problem is that Spirit is remaxing. He's rebuilding oh so quickly here with a lot of Liberators, with Ghosts, with Marauders, with everything here just rallying out of the main base. And he's getting ready for the second push, as he's already almost remaxed.
Yeah, practically almost remaxed. That's a 45 army supply for Geralt versus 110 for Spirit. And yeah, with no buffer for these Purification Novas, even if every single one of them get the perfect connection, there's still going to be more Terran where that came from.
Exactly. He scans ahead of time. He's looking for the Novas. He's trying to dodge them as well, just in case, being very careful, very delicate with his micro. And again, he knows that he has a lead. He knows that he is ahead. Nova's going to be going off, but they will not connect. Oh.
Not at all. Liberators not even sieging up. They're just going after the Colossus at this point, as the Bio on the ground, still standing strong. No Purification Novas for zoning. GG is called. Spirit takes game number 1. It looked a little bit dire. Things were looking pretty dire for him as we got into the mid game. I feel like Geralt set up the early game as well as he could, but man, once he got a little bit of extra income, he got a little bit of extra supply, he got a little bit of extra medevacs, the multi-prongs came down, and that is what Spirit does best in TvP.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The opener, as you mentioned, was really good for Geralt, and if he hadn't kind of misrallied or kind of didn't have the attention with his War Prism initially, if you remember, the War Prism lost all its shields in the main base and took some hull damage. So that's why when he tried to slip into the main, when he went for that warp in, when it got denied, that's why it was so low. That's why it was so vulnerable. If that warp in had finished at the time he was like applying pressure with the stalkers, then maybe then and there he breaks through. Maybe then and there he is able to gain or take advantage of his position. Unfortunately, was not quite able to. And yeah, with that, we do see Spirit stabilizing, recovering, and coming out on top.
Yeah, very close game number 1. But in the end, it could only be one winner, and Spirit was that winner in game number 1. This is a best of 3. We're done with the best of 1s in the lower bracket, thankfully. So there are still, this series is still going to continue. There's at least one more game, and hopefully 2 games here. I do think that it would be a shame not to see a full series of these 2 players.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to see an ace match. I would love to see a game 3 between both Gerald and Spirit. We'll see if we can get there. And again, based on what we saw in the first half of that game, I want to say that Gerald has it in him to force the ace match, but the pressure is on.
Absolutely. Very, very on. Chat brings up a good point. Gerald, his weakness right now is that he is clean shaven.
Exactly. He's playing with a debuff right now. His face is cold. It's freezing. Despite that, still playing strong. So, yeah, really impressive stuff here out of Geralt. But when are we getting that beard again? What's going on? The mustache.
Ooh.
Yaku could never. If he ever was able to grow a mustache that magnificent in his lifetime, he would never let it go.
Exactly. As we get into game number 2 here of this best of 3 lower bracket final, here we have in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player coming down from the land of Poland, representing Storm Gaming PSG. We have Gerald.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the best Terran player in all of Poland, representing Team NV. It is Spirit. With a solid lead in this series. Go on.
It was such a feels bad moment for me when I started shaving regularly, and no one could tell the difference.
I didn't believe you.
Nobody
Why are you lying
noticed.
to me right now? You're like, no, yeah, lied. I shave regularly right now.
It's like once every 2 weeks.
Why are you lying to me right now? What are you trying to stop from going there? What's going on?
No one could tell the difference. Compared to when I compared to when I stopped shaving for literally 4 years. Well, I stopped shaving my mustache. I still shaved my chin. But then I shaved it for the first time, and nobody could tell. No one noticed. No one remarked on the cleanness of my face.
Yeah, there was no change, Yaku. God damn it.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
Smooch, Robbie, smooch. That's the thing, right? Geralt. That's what I want to know. I see Kashim in the chat. If we could, we need to know. We need to know this answer as we do recall this pro back. It does not make it back. Ay. Very quickly, Kashim, if you could, we need to know. When is the comeback happening with a mustache? If you ever have an opportunity to talk to Geralt about it, what is happening? Because everyone wants to know. Everyone loves it. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And now it's gone.
He decided he needed to make things fair for everyone else.
True. He felt bad for everyone. He's like, that is what you're rocking? That's what's on your face? Oh no. And how he's just like,
why have I heard that? That is something I've heard way too often. Those are the exact words. I think you've said that to me a couple of times, actually.
I'm sure I have.
Those exact words.
Oh, God. As we do have a more aggressive opener. Spirits, this is the first time in this series, in this night of StarCraft, where you opened up double gas. It was a double gas opener at a Spirit, delayed CC on the low ground, faster factory instead, so the aggression is upon us. Double Reaper opener here out of Spirit, does get across the map, but he is being hunted down. Can we take down one of those Reapers?
One hit is all it takes, and one of these Reapers will go down. We do have another Cyclone here to back things up, and yeah, actually, the units of Gerald are a little bit exposed.
Yeah, we do punish that Adept, trading a Reaper for an Adept. Not a bad trade here for Spirit. He catches that Stalker, but we have a Shield Battery. With the help of the Shield Battery, we will stand strong against this, and oh, we need one more shot. Barely the Cyclone does survive. The aggression is subsiding here. A bit of a trade, bit of a back and forth. Once again, Blink for Gerald.
Yeah, very, very safe opener for the Protoss player. In that last game we saw, Gerald did open up with Blink, and he was planning to use it defensively, but because he had an opportunity on his hands, because he was able to really deflect the initial move out of Cyclones and Marines from Gerald, he just started turning the tables, started applying pressure on him, containing him for a very long time on only 2 bases.
Did well, did definitely do well with it. But now we have a very similar start here, as we do shut down every single one of these Reapers, as Spirit is going for a mine drop. We have 3 gateways on the way, 1 already done. It is going to be 4 gate Blink Stalkers, once again 2 games in a row for Gerald, as the mine drop is spotted by the Pro.
Ooh, unfortunate here for Spirit. Gerald going to be able to, especially with Blink, very proactively defend against this.
Yeah, I love that he's keeping the Stalkers back so he can lure it in and then Blink on top of that drop as well. As the drop does spot the Stalkers, will be retreating. Oh, we can see Gerald trying to hunt it down, but does miss the drop.
Yeah, does miss it, but he's got to use these Stalkers for something, so he's sending them across the map. Warp Prism going to be beefing up the reinforcements a little bit, and if there's an opening, he's going to blink on through.
Yeah, and hey, this main base here on Alcyon is very large. There is a spotter depot, that is true, but you can see that the tank is quite far back here protecting the natural base, and we are looking to dive into the main base, pick off the depot if we can, and potentially get even more damage, as Spirit does have time to respond.
Just like so. Gerald, playing this out cautiously, did scout ahead a little bit with his Warp Prism before deciding, yeah, there's a lot of units back there. I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, it does pull back in the end. Meanwhile, we had Raven harass here towards the natural, which was shut down. We do have a medevac drop towards the main base, which was forced back as well. So far, good defense out of Gerald. Likewise, though, good defense out of Spirit, as he still hasn't lost much here. Just a depot and a Marine.
Yeah, and those are expendable, really. Look at that, he's already rebuilding depots, so...
There you go, Depot is already on the way. Stalkers, they try to apply some pressure, but we have a tank shelling away at the army, dealing quite a bit of hull damage as well. Meanwhile, once again, Raven diving in. Once again, medevac as well. The drop is poised to dive if we do see an opportunity.
Yeah, but so far, Geralt isn't affording him any opportunities. Being very, very proactive with that Stalker placement. Spirit is playing this out a little bit cautiously as well, though, I gotta say. I feel like there are definitely times when it might have been worth it for him to just boost through the Stalkers and to try to land something, but yeah, I can't fault him for not wanting to lose his medevac too prematurely.
Oh yeah, exactly. As Raven gets two probes here at the 3rd base location, sorry, at the natural location. Mine drop comes in, and we can get a shot off here. It looks like, oh, we do unburrow though. It looks like good reaction out of Geralt. Eventually this mine is going to be cleaned up, but how many probes will we get?
1. This one. Numero uno, auto target getting 1 as well.
Yeah, that's
so
math.
That's 2.
Yeah. Impressive.
I definitely didn't look at the killed probe count on the left side. I counted.
The hard way. Here we go. The army has moved out, by the way, and Geralt missed it. He missed the move out. He's recalling back home, realizing his folly here. And can we hold the tanks have arrived, shelling away at that Colossus, taking a lot of damage, but we have the overcharge.
You have battery overcharge helping out the Colossus a ton. Zealots do get taken out before they can really connect on top of the tanks. Tanks doing a brilliant job of zoning away the Protoss army from the 3rd base. Tanks will fall, but yeah, this 3rd base is forfeit, and Spirit doesn't have to end the game yet.
He doesn't. He's chasing down these probes to the other side of the map at the same time. Marine drop here into the main base, trying to slow down the main army of Gerald. Medevac taking a lot of hits. There is a shield battery in the main base as well, but overcharges on cooldown. These Marines should be shut down.
Yeah, Colossus back home will be able to deal with that. These probes, they just want to live, Spirit.
They just want to live. They just want to go to work. Leave them alone, and they survive. Actually, they do somehow avoid this bio army heavily overstimmed. And these 6 probes go down. That could have been so much worse when it comes to the worker count of Gerald.
It really, really could have. I mean, that game could have ended right then and there. You know, one slight misstep on the Colossus, if that battery overcharge wasn't available, game could have ended. But Gerald, he survives. He actually keeps both of his Colossus alive, so he doesn't lose his high-tech units. He still... This army's still got some fight in it. It's still got a backbone.
It does, but he has to do something about the economy because Spirit is ahead quite far in the economy. Reflected in supplies as well. We have, quadruple drop being sent out across the map as we speak. This third base is exposed. We could maybe even get a kill on it. We're getting a lot of damage dealt.
Yeah, SCV's trying to repair, but they are exposing themselves to the Colossus to do so. Forces a cancel on the third base location with this triple medevac drop. One Colossus looking so exposed.
Does look exposed. We drop into the main base to force our defensive recall as well. We've already done the damage that we were looking for. We canceled the third base, but we lost 14 SCVs across the map. We're looking for more damage, and we will get +2.
Yeah, huge pickup here for Spirit. Future engagements are going to be much, much easier as well. Mines do connect with the Stalkers, and there's not enough of a buffer to protect against the Colossus. Colossus goes down. A lot of gateways. One gateway is going to get depowered. Already Spirit finding a lot of momentum.
He does. He denies the third, kills workers. He does deny some of these upgrades as well. And as he's being cleaned up, Spirit, he still has an army back at home. He still has a massive death ball of an army. Marines, Widowmines, Ghosts, Vikings, third base was saved. He lost a lot of SCVs, but he still has a better economy compared to Gerald. Gerald is lacking the mules that Spirit does, which means he's able to make up for that slight worker deficit and exceed it.
It's so funny thinking of a bio army as a death ball, but that is what it is right now compared to what Gerald has back at home. They are Spirit's army is much better upgraded. It's a lot larger. We're at a point where he can just stim to win, unless Gerald has the perfect positioning with these Colossus.
Yeah, and Gerald has to do something crazy, so this makes sense. We're double expanding. We're taking the fourth base and the gold at the same time. Gerald has been on the back foot for quite some time at this point, and if he's able to sneak into this gold, then he can recover, if given the time to do so.
Yeah, if given the time. I don't think Spirit is really one to give his opponents that time. 1-1 did finish up a little while ago, so he is working on 2-2. Spirit has an opportunity to push out right now, and it's not a bad time to push out. Gerald is in the middle of his transition, but he is playing it out very, very cautiously. He is just going for mine drops instead.
Yeah, here we go. We have a mine drop moving towards the left-hand side. There are some Zealots poised to scout. They potentially can catch wind of this. We're scanning the third base location as well. We're looking to see if there's a fourth, and we have not checked the gold. We may have seen some of the transferring workers, which could be a bit of a tell here. So Spirit is moving out. We'll see if he does come across the gold. We'll see if he can deny it.
That we shall. A little bit of vision, a little bit of a fight here for the Xel'Naga Tower. Chase away.
Exactly. Spirit just chasing back the army, distracting it. Here comes the mine drop from the left-hand side, and Gerald, he does pay attention.
One mine will pop off, but not get too much damage.
He wants
Spirit. If Spirit's out for blood.
Oh no! We connect the Zoom!
Get it! 6 probes go down, and a High Templar very, very low on health as well. Gerald's not careful that those mines are going to reset. Actually, it doesn't even matter. He's just pushing in with his main army.
Yeah, he snipes that High Templar in the end. We do have another Nova going off, just going to be zoning back the Bioforce, but we have quite a lot of disruptors behind this. We have 3 Novas left, now we have 2 left. Teasing in action as well. We are buying time, and bearing in mind that throughout all of this, Gerald, he is mining from the gold.
Yeah, as long as he can buy himself enough time, he's going to be in a much safer and a lot richer position. He can start getting more disruptors, ideally, more Colossus. One purification overlands, the other one does get sniped. Really good splits coming out from Spirit right at the end here as the Protoss army is starting to collapse.
It really is. The Vikings go ham here on the Colossus. The Disruptors fall as well. There's one Disruptor left. We're barely forcing this back, but the Vikings, they land. And even though Spirit has no idea the gold base is up and running, he doesn't even care as he does clean up the army. Only a handful of gateway units left here. Only one Disruptor remains.
And, you know, if he can get one really good Purification Nova off, he might buy himself even more time, but it's not looking too likely as Spirit is already reinforcing this.
Yeah, he's just rallying everything across the map. Again, Gerald, he's barely holding on by the skin of his teeth. With the hell with that gold base. He does have a Zealot army now. We're dropping Vikings on top of this. Not the best trades here from Spirit. He takes a Nova to the face as well. Can we barely hold on? We're down to only a handful of Stalkers.
That's a really funny mental image. Dropping a Viking right on top of a Disruptor like that. But you know what? It worked out. There's only one Disruptor remaining. This base is going to go down. Gold base still up and running. Spirit still 0 eyes on it. But we kind of are at the point where, despite having that gold base, Gerald hasn't really been able to expand his production capabilities. He is on double Robo, but it still takes forever to rebuild those. He doesn't have too many gateways as, you know, he's just been forced to keep remaking his units over and over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Now we've hit the final form of Spirit. Now the Liberation Zones have arrived. Freedom is here. And Gerald's about to be set free here. Nova's going to be connecting with only a handful of units. Good split here from Spirit, and he's pushing towards the natural.
That is dark as hell. Gerald's about to be set free from this plane, yep.
Oh, no.
As one Purification Nova lands, but we are at the point where we need a lot more than just one. GG is called, and Spirit will be fighting back, will be taking this series 2-0, proving why he was the King of Poland. Well, he's the defending King of Poland, I should clarify.
GG, well played here. Yes, Spirit, he does bounce back here. He may have been knocked down to the lower bracket, but he takes down Gerald 2-0. My condolences to Gerald. Again, he looked good in game one, did look good, but here in the following series, we do see Spirit showing us why he is the best Terran in all of Poland, why he's one of the best Terran players in all of Europe, and Spirit advances on to the lower bracket finals.
There we go. Advances on to face Elaser in not a rematch, actually. It's crazy to think about. In my head, if you have a bracket with Elaser and Spirit, I automatically assume they probably face in the upper bracket final, or, you know, at least somewhere in the upper bracket. But Cristiano had other plans tonight.
Oh yeah, he does have other plans, and oh boy, Cristiano, he's lying in wait. He can chill, he can take some rest here, waiting for either Spirit or a Laser to come at him, as they're going to be duking it out against each other to see who faces off against Cristiano in the finals.
Indeed, we do. Apparently, a Laser was casting that match.
Yeah.
That we just saw, so already a little bit of an advantage on his hands as we get into that lower bracket finals.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And also, I also need to respond in the chat about whether or not the sun is rising here in Australia. So in Australia, it is 7 a.m., but what I will say, it's summer in Australia, and an hour ago, I did notice that the sun was rising. We've been casting for how many hours? For 11 hours so far.
Yep.
I was here when the sun set. We were casting when the sun set. We're casting when the sun rises. We're still going. We still are not done. We still have 2 more series ahead of us. We're gonna definitely reach that 12-hour mark. Can we go further? How long can we go?
Well, if Epic LAN is still going, you know, if they allow us to cast. No, there's no Epic LAN right now.
There is no Epic LAN, but the show must and will go on. We're gonna be going on a short break. When we return, we're gonna be diving into a Laser versus Spirit.
We'll see you then.